Hey guys, lovely to see you all again. I've been meaning to do this song for frickin' ages. It is a classic. We're going to be looking at Beyond the Realms of Death by Judas Priest today. Let's take a look. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. I want to start off with a slide from 12 to 10 on the second string. Then I've got a pull off from 12 to 11 on the fourth string. And I kind of work into this weird augmented idea. So after that pull off, I'm playing 12 of the fifth, and then 13 of the sixth, and then I slide that over a semitone. So all together we're going to go like this. Okay, after that I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to play 12 to 14 on the fifth string, and then jump to 12 of the fourth, and then jump to 16 of the fifth. At the end of that, I'm going to play 14 to 12 on the fourth, 16 of the fourth, and jump to 14 of the third, and that's going to sound like this. So let's take it right from the start of the section. At the end of that, I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got two bends from 17 of the second string. Then I'm going to hit 17 of the first string with my pinky, and then bring the 17 bend from the second string down. At the end of that, let's slow that down. I'm playing 15 to 17 on the second string. I jump to 16 of the third, and then I do a little bend from 15 of the second string up, and then I cut it off. So this is what we should have from the bends. Hopefully that's making sense. Then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got a slide from 14 to 12 on the first string. Then it goes. So what I've got there is I'm doing a pull off from 15 to 14 on the second string, and then I jump to 17 of the first. Then it works into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got a hammer on from 14 to 15 on the second. I'm jumping to 16 of the third, and then back to 14 of the second. At the end of that, I've got two pull-offs from 16 to 14 on the third string. So all together, let's go from this line actually. There's a little bit more, but let's have a look at what we've got thus far a little bit slower. Okay, then it works into this phrase. Let's slow that down. It's kind of B minor pentatonic position 4 with a cheeky accidental in there, or outside note rather. I've got a hammer on from 14 to 16 on the fourth. I jump to 14 of the third, and then I roll back and include that outside note, playing 16, 15, 14 on the fourth, and that's legatoed. So all together, at the end of that, I'm jumping to 17 of the fifth string, and then back to 14 of the fourth. So all together, Okay, at the end of that, what have we got here? Okay, there's only 5 notes left. I'm going to play 16 of the 4th, 17 of the 5th, and then when I play 14 of the 4th string, I'm going to do a cheeky pinch harmonic there. At the end of that, I'm going to play 11 to 12 on the 4th string, and that's going to lead in to the start of section 2. So let's try the most recent chunk. That's pretty much all of the first section. Let's try and do it all again at a gentleman's pace and then a bit slow with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the second section. I want to start from 9 of the 4th. And then I'm going to play 9, 11, 12. Then it goes. So that's going 9, 10, 12 on the 5th string. So all together. Then I want to jump to the 3rd string. And then I play 9, 12, 11. Then from that point, I want to play 9, 11, 12 on the 4th. So this is what we should have thus far. From that point, it goes from more of a diatonic idea into something a bit more pentatonic. So I've got... Let's slow that down. I'm playing 9, 11 on the 3rd, 10, 12 on the 2nd, and then 10 of the 1st. And then that resolves to 12 of the 2nd string. So from the start of the section, we should have this. At the end of that, I'm going to play those last 2 notes again, which was 10 of the 2nd string and 12 of this. 10 of the 1st string and 12 of the 2nd, and then I go like this. So what I'm doing there is playing sort of a power chordy shape. I'm playing 14 of the 1st, 12 of the 2nd, back to 14 of the 1st. At the end of that, I play 12, 14, 15. So it'll go. Okay, let's have a look at what we've got from the start thus far. Okay, then it works into this phrase. What I'm doing here is I'm playing 12, 14, 15 again, but then a quick pull off to 14. So it goes. At the end of that, I'm going to play 14, 15, and 12, 14. I'm plucking every note on the 2nd string. And then I want to go. So I'm playing that little power chord idea from 12 of the 2nd string to 14 of the 1st twice. And then resolving that to a vibrato on 11 of the 2nd string. So to go. That's pretty much the whole section. Let's do it relatively slowly from the start and then do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the start of the 3rd section. Keep in mind that we're going to be pretty much around box position 1 of the B minor pentatonic. So we're going to start off with this. It's got a bit of a comfortably numb vibe. I've got a bend from 10 of the 2nd string. Then I play 7 of the 1st. And then work my way down the pentatonic playing 10 of the 2nd and 7 of the 2nd. Then I go. So what I'm doing there is rolling a little bit of a legato idea, playing 9 of the 3rd, hammering into 10, which is the cheeky flat 5, pulling off to 9, and then rolling to the 7. This is what we should have thus far. At the end of that. So what I've got here is the 9th fret of the 3rd. And then I'm doing sort of like a quarter tone bend on the 7 and then cutting it off. So thus far. Okay, then after that, I work into a similar pentatonic lick. Let's slow that down. I'm doing a flat finger on 7 of the first and the second string, and I'm going, playing the second to the first, playing 10-7 again on the second string, and then I go like this. So I want to play 9 as a regular note, and then again as a bend into a pull off. So it'll go. At the end of that, I've got 2 bends from 9. Then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. So once again, working around the similar position and quite a lot of legato. I'm going to play 9-10, 9-7 like we did before, but a little slower. And then I'm going to do a pull off from 9 to 7, jump to 9 of the fourth, and then back down to 7 of the third. So it'll go. So let's go from those 2 bands. Okay, let's have a look at what we've got from the start of the section, and then we'll add the last chunk. At the end of that, I've got a slight bend on 9 of the third, and you can add a little squill if you want to. And then I want to play 7 of the second string 3 times and then slide it back to 5. So it'll go. That slides back to 5. So I go. Then I'm going to do 3 notes from 5 of the second string and slide that back to 3. And then from there, I do a very similar idea. I play 3 times and slide to 2. At the end of that, I've got a hammer on from 2 to 3, and that's going to lead us into the 4th section. So it'll go. And that's pretty much all of section 3. Let's take it from the start relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. And then that'll lead us into the next section. Let's try the whole thing even slow with some tabs. All right, guys, let's have a look at the 4th section. I'm going to start off from, leading out of section 3. We're going to start that from 4th fret of the 3rd string. Delicious vibrato, and then I hit it again, and I want to play 2-3 on the second. So all together. Then a similarly length vibrato from 4 of the 3rd string, and then I work into this phrase. So I've got a brief slide into 5 of the second string, and then I'm going to play 3-2, and then jump back to 4 of the third. So this is what we should have thus far. After that point, I want to do a pull off from 7 to 4, and then 6 to 4. And then from that point, I'm going to play 6-7 twice as a hammer on. Then I slide to 9, and then pull off to 7. So we're going to go. At the end of that, I work into some bendy stuff, but let's do what we've got thus far. At the end of that, I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got a bend from 9 on the 3rd string up. Then I bring it down. And then I hit it again as a regular note into a pull-off. So we're going to go up, down, and then again at the bottom with the pull-off. At the end of that, I'm going to play 10 of the second string and then a bend into a pull-off from 9 of the 3rd string into 7. And that's the whole section. So what we can do is go through it relatively slowly, at a gentleman's pace, and then again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, section 5, we're dealing with the B minor pentatonic again. I'm going to do 2 bends from 10 of the second string. Then I work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 7 of the first, 10-7 on the second, and then a bend from 10 of the second again. So all together. Then I work into this phrase. Very comfortably numb. Anyway, what I've got at the start of that, I'm playing 7 of the first, a quick pull off from 10-7 on the second, then a cheeky Chuck Berry. I've got the bend from 9 of the third into the flat finger, covering the 7 of the second and the first string. So all together. Then from that point, I'm going to sort of Thin Lizzy triplet my way down the scale there. So we'll go through the triplets nice and slow, and then we'll put it all together. The first triplet I was dealing with there was 10-7 on the second string and 9 of the third. Then I want to backtrack to the 7 of the second string and then play 9-7 on the third as a pull-off. So we'll go. Then from the third string, 9-7 as a pull-off and 9 of the fourth. I'm going to jump to 7 of the third and then pull off 9-7 on the fourth. So I'll go. So all together. And at the end of that, that last triplet I do for this chunk is going to go 9-7 on the fourth to 9 of the fifth. So let's have a look at what we've got thus far from the start. Okay, then it goes into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got to pull off from 8-7 on the fifth and then jumping to 10 of the sixth string. And then I want to play 7-8-7 as a hammer-on pull-off and then jump to 10 of the sixth string as well. So we've got, at the end of that, I'm going to slide from 7 to 5 on the fifth and then jump to 7 of the sixth. So let's put those three little chunks together. At the end of that, I'm going to play 5-7 and then 7 again with a slide to 9 on the fifth. And then I go. So what I've got here is I'm playing 7 of the fourth string, 9 of the fifth, and then 7-9 on the fourth. So we've got. Okay, the last phrase goes like this. So we've got. Then I'm going to start from 7 of the third string. I'm going to play 7, jump to 9 of the fourth, and then 7-9 on the third. Then from there, I'm going to do a slide from 9 to 11 and hit it twice when I get there. Then I'm going to hit 11 again and slide to 14. And hit 14 twice. So it's going to go. Then very similarly phrased, I'm going to slide from 14 to 16, hit it twice when I get there. Sorry. I lied, actually. I'm only going to hit it once. And then I'm going to jump to 15 of the second string. And that 16 I hit then, that's actually the resolving note, which will be the start of section 6 that we're up to. Sort of go. That's pretty much the whole section. So let's go from those big bends at the start from 10 of the second string. We'll work through it relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. All right, guys, let's have a look at the start of section 6. I'm going to jump to 16 of the third string, play 15 of the second, and then back to that 16 on the third. It's going to sound like this. If you want to add a cheeky slide at the start, that is pretty cool as well. At the end of that, I'm going to play 14, 15, and then 2 17s on the second string. Then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to do 6 notes, and then it's going to go into a little pattern that repeats a few times. So what I'm going to do here is play 14, 15, 17 on the second string and jump to 14 of the first. And then I'm going to repeat the 15, 17 on the second string. So there's 6 notes there. From that point, I jump to the first string, and I'm going to play 14, 15 there, and then play 17 of the second string, and I'm going to do that idea 3 times. And one thing that's a little bit weird about that is when you do alternate picking, each group is going to sort of change direction, or when you're changing strings. That does feel a little bit weird. It's probably one of those things where it's best not to think about it too much. Let's have a look at what we've got thus far. At the end of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 14, 15, 17 on the first, and then 2 bends from 17. At the end of that, it works into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to pick every note. I'm going to play 17, 15, 14, 15, 17. So pick everything. And then I want to do a pull off from 15 to 14 on the first, and then jump to 17 of the second. And that's all perfect quavers or eighth notes. At the end of that, I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to do sort of a 5-note group, all legato. I'm going to play 14, 17, 14, hammer on, pull off, and then hammer to 15 and pull off back to the 14. Okay, at the end of that, I jump to 17 of the second string. At the end of that, I'm going to do a hammer on, pull off from 14, 15, 14 again. So all together thus far. At the end of that, I'm going to go bend up and back from 17 of the second string, and then a sexy vibrato bend from 17 again. So it goes. And that's pretty much all of the 6th section. So let's go from the start at a gentlemanly pace, and then we'll do it again even slow at some tabs. One more time with some tabs. All right, guys, the last section, I'm going to start off with a bend from 22 of the second string, and then I'm going to hit pinky on 22 of the first as well, and I'm going to do that twice. Then I'm going to do another bend from 22 of the second string. So there's going to be 3 bends there, but a pinky note on the first string on 22 twice. Then it works into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to play 19 on the second string, pull off from 22 to 19 again, and then jump to 21 of the third string. I'm going to add 2 more notes to that. I'm going to play 19 of the second string again and 21 of the third. So all together. Okay, then I work into this phrase. It's sort of the same thing 2.5 times, if that makes sense. Let's slow that down. I've got a quick bend from 21 of the third string, playing 19 of the second, and then a quick pull off from 22 to 19. So it'll go. I'm going to do that 2 times. And then the third time, or the 2.5 times, will just be the bend into that 19. So we should have 2 groups of 4 and a group of 2 here. At the end of that, I'm going to go, I think it's the same thing 4 times. I'm pulling off 22 to 19 and then 23 to 19. I do 4 of each. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's have a look at what we've got thus far before we get too excited. But we're very, very close to the end. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I work into this phrase. And that's the end. So what I've got here, big bend from 22 of the second string. And what I'm doing here is I'm playing, what is that? 19, 21, 22 on the first string. And then I want to bend that 22 a full tone up. Then I reverse my steps down that scale, which was 22, 21, and then 19 again. So from the bend on the second string, at the end of that, what I'm doing there is 22 of the second string and then 19, 18 on the third string. And at the end of that, I'm going to hold that 19th fret for, I think it's 4 bars before it fades. You can just wait till it sort of disintegrates into nothingness. But anyway, that's all of the 7th section. Let's try it again at a gentleman's pace and then again even slower some tabs. One more time with some tabs. And that was the solo from Beyond the Realms of Death by Judas Priest. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check the links in the description box to my Patreon and my Facebook group. I'll see you guys all real soon.